Hi, I'm Michael Kempson. I'm producer at Jaeger for Dead Island 2.
So Michael, what are you showing here new with Dead Island 2?
Well, obviously, first of all, we had to show our trailer on Monday, and that obviously went over as a bit of hopefully a bit of a surprise for everybody, because it was obviously a different tone and a fairly different direction than people may have suspected for a Dead Island title. But that was really important to us. So we tried to be as obvious and overstate as much as possible in that trailer, and we hope that that message comes through, that we've found a particular direction for this game. And what we've been showing to people in our little Deep Silver Jaeger area here is some of the work that took us in that direction. So we've got a prototype with us, which we were doing during production of the game. And the reason we're showing it is because, again, it kind of helps explain that journey that we went on and where we figured out this tone and why that was the appropriate thing. The really quick example I like to give everybody is, in this demo, you have a sledgehammer and you can uppercut a zombie with it, and the zombie will fly 60 feet. Turns out that's really, really, really funny when that happens. And when we, looking back on that, that's really when we had that turning point, very solid, and it's like, okay, no, that's the direction we can take this title in terms of tone. And it felt really right, and it felt natural. And then we went to work with with Deep Silver and the guys at Axis. Actually, the guys who made this trailer for Dead Island 2 are the same team who made the trailer for the first game. And they picked up on that direction and tone straight away through our discussions. And so yeah, we're just really glad it's all carrying through.
Talk about what Next Gen has opened up for you as a game studio.
Yeah, I mean, when Next Gen came along, it was a really fortuitous time, because we were just finishing up Spec Ops. Dead Island 2 was a possibility for us to develop on, and Next Gen happened to trail on behind that as well. So as we were putting this all together, the next generation of consoles were being talked about, and we were seeing things like Unreal Engine 4 being talked about. We were seeing the Elemental demos, and both first party were talking about what they want to do with online. And that tied in really nicely to what we had seen in Dead Island. Like, Dead Island 1 was very popular at Jaeger. Like, it was like the game to be playing at lunch for a long time, just because it did online super well. Like, with co-op, it was drop-in co-op, and there was no lobby screen, no waiting. Your friend was online, you press up on the D-pad, boom, he's in the game with you. And then we started hearing about Next Gen and what their plans were for online, and we thought, wow, this is a match made here. This is something we could really work with. So at the end, that gave us another direction to take the title in. So we have driven up what we can do with online in Dead Island 2. We've ended up with 8 players online in an open world on dedicated server. It's seamless as well, and we tried to make it even more seamless than we had on the button presses in Dead Island 1, whereby the game is always online as long as you've got your console connected. There's offline as well, but as long as you're connected, you're going to default to having your friends, through matchmaking, populating the world with you at the same time, with no prompting and no control over it from your side of things.
So talk about the world, because you moved from a tropical island to basically Southern California.
Yeah, we moved to California mostly because we felt that the California setting felt really right with the kind of franchise and the style of Dead Island. So obviously the first game was on the tropical island of Benoi, so kind of more of a fictitious island, kind of based on the sort of like Malaysian and Indonesia archipelagos. And we love that contrast, and particularly our art team loved that contrast of the tropical island and the zombies. And then we start thinking, okay, where can we take Dead Island 2 to really have that same effect, but have people kind of connect to do it a little bit better? And we all went, well, we quite like to go on holiday in California because it's really pretty. And so we thought, right, let's do that. And that's kind of how we approached it. And then we got into the sense of like, yeah, but California is isolated. How's that blending into the fiction? And of course, we thought long and hard about how the virus has got into California. And then in the fiction, as it's turned out, the US government has kind of had the virus end up on their shores, and that's where they intend to keep it. So they've cornered off California. It's basically isolated as a kind of a landlocked island almost. And then looking at California, the way we've approached keeping it beautiful and interesting is the way we've sculpted our version of California really is on a kind of postcard basis. So if like me and you went to Santa Monica Boulevard now and started pulling the tourist postcards off the stands, that's kind of what we've done. We've looked at all the beautiful vistas and created our own compositions of them to just represent the beauty of California as much as we can and all its different geographies.